Future of fungi. How mushrooms could replace plastic. What if I told you that a mushroom could outlive plastic, but in a good way? Here's a shocking fact. Plastic takes over 450 years to decompose, if it ever truly does. But a certain kind of mushroom, it can disappear in just 45 days, and even eat plastic while it's at it. Surprised? You should be, because right now, in labs and forests across the world, fungi are quietly brewing a revolution, one that could end our addiction to plastic, reshape industries, and literally regrow the future. This isn't science fiction, it's fungi in action. Today, we're diving deep into the world of mushroom materials, the innovative, weird, and wildly promising alternatives that could replace plastic entirely. From packaging that melts back into the soil to bricks grown from mycelium, this is a top-to-bottom look at the future we didn't know we needed. Mycelium packaging. Forget bubble wrap. The packaging of the future is alive, literally. Mycelium, the root-like structure of fungi, can be grown in molds to create custom packaging that mimics the texture, strength, and protection of styrofoam. Except, it's compostable. While traditional plastic sits in landfills for centuries, mycelium packaging breaks down in a home compost bin in under 2 months. The kicker? It's not just biodegradable, it actually nourishes the soil when it decomposes. That's like throwing away your Amazon box and feeding your garden at the same time. Now, skeptics might say, but can fungi really handle the scale? The short answer is yes, and it already is. Companies like Ecovative are mass-producing mycelium materials that are being used by Dell, IKEA, and even fashion brands. And here's something relatable. Ever ordered something online and felt guilty about the mountain of packaging? Mycelium lets you unbox your product and guiltlessly toss the packaging into your compost bin. No recycling anxiety, no microplastics, just fungi doing its job. Mushroom leather. Now, imagine your next handbag or jacket made not from animal skin or toxic polyurethane, but from mushrooms. Mushroom leather, often called mylo, is soft, durable, and surprisingly luxurious. It's made from the same underground mycelium we mentioned earlier, but engineered to look and feel like leather, without harming a single cow or pumping chemicals into the air. The fashion industry is one of the dirtiest on Earth, second only to oil. And synthetic leather? It's plastic in disguise, non-biodegradable and full of petroleum byproducts. Mycelium leather breaks that cycle. It can be produced in mere weeks, uses far less water, and doesn't rely on fossil fuels. Some might worry about durability. Will it crack, peel, or dissolve in the rain? The truth is, major brands like Adidas and Stella McCartney are already testing mushroom leather at scale. Plus, how cool would it be to tell your friends, yeah, this coat's made of mushrooms? That's the kind of flex no traditional leather can match. Fungal bricks. Picture this. Your next home could be grown, not built. Enter mycelium bricks. Strong, fire-resistant, and carbon-negative, these building blocks of the future are grown in molds from agricultural waste and mycelium, forming into lightweight but shockingly sturdy materials. They're already being used in experimental architecture and eco-pavilions around the world. But wait, are they really that strong? Yes. While they won't replace steel beams just yet, they can absolutely substitute concrete and clay in non-load-bearing structures. Okay, maybe they're not perfect. Moisture sensitivity is a concern, and they can take time to grow. But advances in drying and sealing technology are making fungal bricks more weatherproof by the year. Not to mention, they're naturally fire retardant. Talk about ironic. So next time someone brags about their eco-home, just ask if their walls are literally alive. If not, they've got nothing on this. Fungi that eat plastic. Hold on to your lunch because this next part might blow your mind. Certain fungi can actually digest plastic. No joke. Scientists have discovered strains of fungi, like Pestalozziopsis microspora, that can survive by breaking down polyurethane, the same plastic found in foams and insulation. It doesn't need sunlight. It doesn't need fancy conditions. It just eats plastic. Now, before we throw all our trash into mushroom pits, let's be real. We're still early in the research phase. The fungi work best in lab conditions, and the process isn't fast enough, yet, for industrial-scale cleanup. Of course, there's concern. What happens if we unleash plastic-eating fungi into the wild? Could they damage ecosystems? Could they evolve to eat other materials? Good questions. That's why scientists are working with strict containment and monitoring. And the irony? We created plastic to be indestructible. And now, nature is outsmarting us. As usual, mycelium electronics. Get this. Researchers are now developing electronic components from mushrooms. Mycelium's fibrous, branching structure can conduct electricity when infused with certain compounds, making it a potential material for biodegradable circuit boards, batteries, and even sensors. This is huge because e-waste is one of the fastest-growing waste streams globally. We discard over 50 million metric tons of electronics every year. Most of it ends up in landfills, leaking heavy metals into the soil and water. Fungal electronics could offer a sustainable alternative, one that breaks down when disposed of, instead of poisoning ecosystems. Plus, they look like something straight out of The Last of Us in a good way. Nature meets technology. Biotech meets biology. It's not just science, it's design with soul. And no, your next iPhone won't be made of mushrooms, but your next fitness tracker might be. Fungi in fashion and textiles. Move over polyester. Mycelium is moving into your wardrobe. Designers are now growing entire garments from fungal fibers. Unlike traditional textiles, which rely on polluting dye baths and endless water waste, mycelium can be grown in the shape, color, and thickness desired, right from the start. No spinning, no weaving, just growing. And here's the best part. These textiles are breathable, antimicrobial, and fully biodegradable. Forget your sweaty synthetic gym clothes. Fungi-based fabrics could regulate temperature naturally and never end up in the ocean as microplastics. Of course, scaling this is tricky. Fungi need specific conditions to grow predictably, and customization takes time. But once the infrastructure is in place, the process could be faster and cleaner than conventional manufacturing. So the next time you see a fashion label touting sustainability, ask if they're working with fungi. If not, they're already behind the curve. Fungal foam for furniture. Ever sat on a couch and thought, this is comfy, but terrible for the planet? That's because furniture foam is made from polyurethane, one of the worst plastics out there. But now, companies are developing fungal-based foams that mimic the squish, bounce, and comfort of traditional cushions, without any of the toxic footprint. These mycelium foams can be molded into seats, panels, even mattress cores. They're breathable, naturally flame-resistant, and don't off-gas chemicals like formaldehyde. And here's a fun fact. When they've outlived their use, you can compost them in your backyard. Try doing that with a memory foam pillow. Of course, we're not quite at IKEA in every home levels, yet. But as costs drop and awareness grows, fungal foams are poised to reshape how we think about comfort, literally from the ground up. And just imagine explaining to your guests, oh yeah, that armchair? It's made of mushrooms mic drop. If you found this fascinating, weird, or just a little mind-blowing, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into the innovations shaping our world. And share this video with someone who still thinks mushrooms are just for pizza. Let's grow the future. Together. Future.